What's up, YouTube? Today we're going to talk about socializing babies before they get to new customers and what new customers can do with their new skink once they get it. So starting out, they're a little skittish at first, but this one's already a little established. We've been working with some from our first litter, and you can see it let me pick it up right away. It doesn't try to bite. It's just doing some nice tongue flicks at first to see. And then, this one I chose is a good example of one that's less flighty. It's just pretty much trying to take everything slowly. Then you could just, let it walk through your hands a little bit to get used to you. And you can see this one's pretty already well behaved. Just more curious about exploring. And what's some good to note on these, on the top of their head, they have a third eye, which that they use to see shadows. So when you pick them up, you'll want to try to pick them up from underneath. I'll post a picture here of one that you could see what the third eye looks like. It's basically a dot on top in the middle of their head. And then now we'll put this one back, and I'll grab a different one that's a little more spicy. So this one here is from the most recent litter we had born. So it's going to be, not as socialized. The guys show you a little bit different. So you can see right there, it opens his mouth. It's scared and defensive, being just born. They are preyed on sometimes a bit in the wild, sadly. So what we'll want to do, we'll try to carefully pick it up. We don't want to let it bite us, because when they're this small, they could actually break their jaw. So we'll carefully go under, trying to be as gentle as possible, and start them out. Just pick them up, let them start taking everything in. Some nice, good tongue flicks. It's starting to think. See? You even trust me a little bit. It's definitely still indecisive, but as you can see, it calms down pretty quick. And that's, how some will be. They'll be more defensive in their enclosure, and then once they're out, they'll be pretty calm. Not everyone that's defensive in their enclosure is like that, but some will be. So you'll have to, watch the behavior of your animal and learn more about it. So once you get a new baby, you're going to want to let it get used to its new enclosure for a week. Some will even do 2 weeks. You can black out the sides of the enclosure, either taping some construction paper, or if you already got a PVC enclosure, then it will help it feel nice and secure. You can even start it off in its adult enclosure, just offer multiple hides. That way it feels safe and secure. And then during that first week, you're going to want to, periodically sit outside the enclosure to let it slowly get used to seeing you, that way you can start building those threads of trust. And then from there, you could offer tongue feed insects like dubia roaches or, super worms, mealworms. That way it will, start seeing you as more like a caregiver, associating you with food versus, associating you with as a threat, basically. You want to just slowly start thinking more and become, more tolerated your presence, or even some seem to like your presence, depending on who you ask. You're going to get different theories on that. But so after that first week, you sat outside the enclosure and you were tongue feeding it. If you're ready and you're feeling up to it, you could try picking it up. So you're going to, want to slowly go underneath again, trying to not put a shadow over its third eye if possible. It will be easier for you guys because your hands will more than likely work better than mine. Whoop. And then, once you get them up, you'll want to hold it for a couple minutes. And every time you put it back, whether it's, you hold it 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you're going to want to carefully put it back. That way, it starts associating you with more good behaviors. So we'll gently put it back in. And then we always try to place the hides back to where they are. That way they have the opportunity to go where they want. So when you're working with animals, you want some consistency, whether it's, you handle it 2 times a week, 3 times a week, you slowly build up that trust. And over time, they're going to lose that fear and be more curious, some to the point they'll even come to the front of the enclosure, crawl out on your hands. They like to use their mind after they get afraid, and you could start even getting better experiences with the animals. As we learn more in general, we learned that these reptiles are actually smarter than we think. So there's a ton of great possibilities in the future, but for now, thanks for stopping by. Like and subscribe.